Hello, my fellow gnomes. It is November the 22nd, and welcome to a new stream, a new kind of format that we're calling the Scripting Helpline. So I'm going to be dwelling in the scripting help channel of my Discord, and we're going to try and help some people's issues. And if you want priority, then you can send in a super chat and we'll try and get to you if it's popular. But I just thought it'd be interesting to maybe show people how I go about debugging other people's issues. So I'm going to hop into the Discord, and here we are inside the development help channel. We've got how many active posts we've got? We've got 541 active posts. So there's quite a lot of people about wanting help. We'll try and see if we can help them. Now, I have just been replying to this guy in this one. He just got doors. He's on episode, I'm not sure which episode he is, but he's trying to get the doors to work anyway. Would that be episode 5 or something? I lose track of what episode numbers I've done. And he's trying to send that event when people open the door. Oh, it's the most recent episode. There we go. But this event isn't firing. So he said that he hasn't got any errors, it seems. But then he just posted a picture here of his output. Now, the first thing I'm seeing with this error is that these error messages, they're not actually coming from my scripts. It's coming from something called fix script. Fix script on line 3. So that's not even from my tutorial. Generally, if you've got something like that, it means that it's probably he's probably added some free model and added it in. So we'll let him know that that looks like it's coming from a completely different script called fix script. That's not one of mine. But are there any other errors? He's got loads of stuff, but that's the problem. If you are working in a game where you have tons and tons of free models and different scripts, it can be really confusing to know what you're actually working on. So I always recommend that you take the thing that you're programming and chuck it into a blank place. Otherwise, it can get really confusing if you've got loads of other errors happening. So I would probably say to this guy, he needs to find out where is it coming from. So it's coming from rightway.build.model.fixer. So we'll let him know that he can delete that. Whatever, yeah, that's it. Candy Kid is on the case. He doesn't need that at all. Oh, hello there, Ethan Bowen. You last saw me at 4,000 subscribers. Wow. We have certainly grown quite a bit since then. People like their tutorials, man. What can I say? The tower defense and the doors most recently have really helped boost up the following, as it were. Now, what I'm thinking about this guy is maybe he has some other errors, because if you have a big wall of errors like this, it's possible there's other things that he's missing. So we'll let him know. Are there any other errors coming from other scripts? Okay, let's have a look, see what other help posts there are. So, this looks like a bit of a troll question, but a pizza that grows. Okay, well, if you want to make something move gradually, there's a few ways you can do that. One way is you could use like tween service, or you could use lerping, which I showed in my most recent video. Although that was lerping movement, but you can lerp size as well. Lerping is just a way of like making a custom tween, really. Ideally, I want to make a well, I say ideally, I've actually recorded a video just about lerping, which will hopefully help a few people out. What's other questions have we got? How can I make an enemy description whenever you click on an enemy? Well, I wonder if he's using my series, because nearly everyone in this Discord is doing the tower defense tutorial. But yeah, mouse raycasting is definitely the way to go. So Candy Kid, he's beating me to it there, hasn't he? What else have we got? We've got need help. Module code did not return exactly one value. So normally when you get this, it means you forgot to return anything. I'll show you what I mean. So if I just hop back into Studio, and if I go and I add in a module script, for example, it takes me a while to get used to these new icons. Notice how it says local module. We have a table, and then we have some, you could have some stuff inside it, and then you return it. Well, a lot of the time, people get so busy with different functions and stuff. Function module.do something, right? And then they hide a bunch of code, and then they end up either deleting that last return module line, or they accidentally move it inside one of the functions, in which case none of this is going to get returned back. So it's very important that you have return at the very end there. So we will say to him, make sure to check that you're actually returning the module at the bottom. And thank you very much, Superam Gaming, for the super chat. I don't know where I can find you. Are you in our Discord, or are you, because Superam Gaming, I'm guessing, is your YouTube name. I don't know if I can find you on Roblox with that name. I'll just have a quick search. Superam Gaming. Is that a username? Oh, there's loads of people called that, but they're all bacon hairs, so I don't know if these are you. Oh, you're Tapper Buddy on Discord. Okay. Let's have a look for Tapper Buddy then. If you create a help post is probably the best way to do it. So if you create a development help post, I'll get straight on that. Pizza Bro says, Gnome Code, are you going to be doing Roblox messages? Do you mean my private messages on Roblox? People don't normally come to help there, and it's normally pretty difficult to help people there too because of the Roblox censor. A lot of people write me messages sometimes, and then I just get a message comprised of nothing but hashtags, which isn't the best, is it? Personin says, so what exactly are you working on right now? Well, right now, as I'm streaming, the stream is just about helping other people with their code. So Tapper Buddy just sent in a super chat, and he says the 2D platformer is not resetting the game when I click the reset button. So he says he's going to send some images. Hopefully he will do. We'll wait on that. He is on Roblox as well, so we'll see if we can find him. Tapper Buddy on Roblox. Is this him? Maybe. Is that him? He's not been online for 4 months. I don't know if this is him. Tapper Buddy though. Oh, apparently he's Yayit. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll probably go and add him. That's the easiest way to do it. We'll accept his friend request, and then he can add us into Team Create, and then we'll be able to help him probably a little bit easier. he hasn't sent any images yet. So if he adds us into Team Create, then we'll be able to get straight on that. But let's have a look at some new development help posts that are coming in. I see people are pinging me all over the place. What's this? No, the print isn't there. Where has he put a print? Show me what the code looks like now. That's always the problem with troubleshooting with people, is a lot of the time people will change their code on you, but they won't send you the updated copy. So then you're trying to fix a previous version of something, which can get very confusing very quickly. Let's see if Supram has added it into his Team Create yet. Let's have a look. Doesn't look like it. I can't see him here on the shared with me tab, at least. Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, so Yeet is having issues with his module script still, like we were talking about before. So the only thing we have to go on is this error. Now it says main 7, so that means it's going for the 7th line of his main script. So that's what I want to know, is what is on line 7 of your main script. And so we can use that to at least find out which module script is the issue. This guy's saying his tower is bugged. That's a bit open-ended. Oh gosh. So this can be a bit of an issue sometimes when you're trying to debug and someone gives you a giant wall of text, right? He's giving me the entire script. That's not really much to go on. Well, it is a lot to go on, but it means that I've got to do and read through 200 lines. It's not usually the best way to go about it. So what I would want to know is what actually the issue is. He's left a video. Let's watch the video. Okay, so he loads in. And they're moving along. What's the issue? Oh, that he's not able to spawn in the scout correctly. Aha. Right, so I suspect this might be something to do with the tower to placeholder. Where's the add placeholder? Where's add placeholder? Am I blind? Oh, here it is. Aha. So do you see this line here where it's local tower to spawn? So if you're not familiar with local, what that does is it makes it local to a block of code. So when you use the local, you're meaning this block of code, right? That's what it's inside of. That's the only place that tower to spawn exists. So if you have local at the top here, then you're making it local obviously to the entire block. So it's essentially what's called a global variable. So what he needs to do is he needs to change this local here, remove the local from it. So let's tell him that. In your add placeholder tower function, remove local from this line. There we go. Okay, what's going on here? Sean developer, my part can't detect when using tween service. Yes, so if you're using tween service, you're just manually adjusting the position. It's not actually moving through the world like you using physics, and the touched event relies on physics in order to actually detect it intersecting. So for example, if you watched my recent video on doors where I had a monster that moved through the world, I didn't use tween service, but also I didn't use the touched event because I wouldn't have been able to detect when it hit the players. So I had to use Raycasting in combination with some of the new spatial queries that Roblox provides. So I don't know if he's watching the video right now, but I'll let him know that I recommend using spatial queries and raycasts instead. You can see my most recent video for an idea of how this works. And I can't really type, but we'll try and correct it. There we go. We'll tell him he's live on YouTube as well for good measure. Right, has Supreme managed to find his get team create working? Let's have a look. Because he sent me a little cheeky $2 super chat, so I'm dutifully bound to help him. Which one was his post anyway? I'm struggling to find his post. Did he have a post? Where has it gone? So he said he'd send an image here. He never did. And I'm guessing he's still trying to figure out Team Create. There's a good article on the Roblox developer that you should be able to, if you've never used Team Create before. I know it can be a little bit funny, but there is a guide on the wiki, or whatever they call it now, the developer creation hub. Hello, Noriandris. Thanks for watching. Always good to see you. Pizza Bro Gaming asks, Gnome Code, are you still looking for suggestions for the Doors series episode? Yeah, sure. If you got any good suggestions. I mean, I can't promise I'll add them all, but it's always interesting to hear. I always tend to find when I get to a few episodes into a series, well, not even just video series, just sort of projects in general, it starts to feel more of a grind. I always think there's something really fun, like that initial going from absolutely nothing and starting a fresh project. That's a wonderful feeling where you just, you go from blank base page and you suddenly build it up, and then you have something, right? You have a little something. But then as you add more and more things, it starts to feel more procedural. You're just working within your existing code. Do you get what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of people slowly start to lose enthusiasm for their projects, especially if you haven't designed your code base very well, and then you're almost fighting against your code base. So that's why it's good to have a good design to start with. And yeah, Ethan Bound's just asking there, how do you stay motivated to work on a project? Yeah, that's pretty much what I was just talking about. So, I mean, one thing that sort of holds me accountable is the fact that I'm making videos on it, right? I can't just walk away because I'm bound to you guys to keep working on it. So that helps if, obviously, not everyone's making YouTube tutorials, but if you've told someone about a game you're working on, right, and other people like, hey, how's that game going? Have you added anything more to it? That is going to motivate you to keep going. If you know other people want to see it, even if it's just, your friend, your brother, right? It doesn't need to be a bunch of people spamming you on the internet. Okay, let's look for some new posts in the Discord. I can't animate it. Wow! Wow! Well, Luigi. Right, what's this video then? Animation editor. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Studio has been having a lot of issues since this new update. Right, so he needs to click the window. It's a bit weird that it didn't seem to appear the first time he clicked it. let's see. There. Make sure that you click the animation editor window first. I think that might help him. Oh, they sent another picture. Multiple Motor 60s. I mean, he could just add in a rig using the rig builder option rather than rigging the whole thing himself. But the issue is, as it says it is, right? You've got two parts connecting together, so it doesn't know which way where the joint is, right? If you have two joints in the same part. To avoid this, you normally want to go from the humanoid root part outwards. So you connect the root part to the torso to a shoulder, shoulder to an arm, arm to an elbow, and so on and so on. So you're just going one to the other rather than sort of randomly trying to stick different bits onto each other, where it can get a bit confusing. Okay, it looks like Supreme has added us. Let's see if we can even remember what the issue was. It was to do with a 2D game, I seem to remember. Epic in the chat, he says, "Hey Gnome, with your module script video, I finally learned how to use module scripts. Thanks." That's great to hear. Okay, so we're in Supram's game. First thing we're going to do, obviously, is enable the output. Always important. And then we'll just hit play, see what happens. Okay, this is a bit of a throwback, this game. It's ages ago. This was the first ever tutorial series I made on the channel. Was it back in 2019? It was a long time ago. Never gets old though. Okay, so the first level works. And what we're going to get here? Oh! Caught. I was trying desperately not to get caught out, but I did. Oh, thank you very much for the tip, Mr. Lucid. €2. Cheers. Do you offer emotional support as well? Well, we can just come and hang out. I think that's what we're all doing right now. You're watching me play a 2D game, but you're not really here for the game, are you? Just here to see me mess about a bit. What is this guy? Just a cozy winter stream. Hello, Dev. Oh, okay. We're now in the... Aha, I remember how to do this. So you have to do this, and then you have to... Whoa! You have to get hit by the thing and damage him. That's how I... Oh! This makes it really difficult with the mystery box. I think this is the only game created where a mystery box is actually a disadvantage. Okay, there we go. Take that. What's he called? Evil Colin Wizard. Damn you, evil Colin Wizard. I will get revenge for my family. How could you do that, Colin? There we go. Okay, we killed him. And... oh. Okay, so immediately we're getting an error when we're in the victory area. So on line 5, attempt to index nil with player GUI. And so I'm guessing that this button won't work. Yep, that's going to break as well. So let's hit stop. And we're going to check out what's happening on line 5 of the victory detection script. So we'll search victory detection. Yeah. Wait, the Roblox is kind of weird now. Ugh, I hate the menus. They're so finicky. I'm always popping them out when I don't mean to. No, I want properties. Where is the explore window gone? Oh, it's created it inside of a... No, I don't want them tabbed. I want one and then the other one below, please. Thank you. Right. Okay, there we go. We've got the victory detection script. That took longer than it should have, shouldn't it? Okay, so player, get player from character. But obviously this isn't getting a player, so you've just assumed that you'll get the player here, where it's possible you won't if you've hit the, say, the character's hat or something. Then there won't be the parent of that hit won't be the player's character. The hat is an object, so the parent of that will be the hat object. So I would just add in an if statement here. If it is a player, then we'll actually set the player GUI to enabled. So that's the first thing I'm going to change. And then the second thing is we're going to need to go to that GUI, I think. So we go to the victory screen. We'll find that restart button. So script.parent.mouse click. And I don't like when you've got a bunch of stuff stacked up like this, all on one line. So I'm going to just create a variable for replicated storage first and make that equal to that. Just makes it a lot easier to read. And then we can say replicated storage, wait for child, restart game. So have we got a event called restart game? Well, let's look in replicated storage. Yep, we do have one. Okay, so then it's firing to the server. And then we need to check a server script. So where is server scripts? Is it in player setup? Let's have a look. Here we go. There's his restart game event. Yet again though, everything all on one line. I don't really like that. So I'm going to create that replicated storage variable at the very top. And so then we can make that equal to that. Much better. And so on the server event is going to restart game. So let's just throw in a print and check that this is actually being fired. Restart. And then it's using this get content function. Get content. So that calls the cleanup, where it destroys everything inside of the workspace pretty much. And then it clones everything from server storage. Okay. And then, so is it possible that for some reason one of these isn't getting called? Maybe. I think what we're going to need to do, and there were no other errors that I missed, was there? Just that one attempt to index nil. So let's go and commit these changes for him. Do we need the draft window open? Or have they taken effect? Oh, they've been committed. Okay. How about we go back and we play again? Although in fact, we don't want to play through the whole game again. Instead, let's drag the map back out. And let's just make it so you start on the last level or something. Level 3 spawn. If we go to player setup, let's set the respawn location to the level. What will it be? Level 3? Wait, workspace.level1.map? Shouldn't it be workspace.map.level1? That doesn't seem right to me. So maybe that's an issue right there. But we're going to set this to that way round. Am I missing something? I mean, that seems like it was the wrong way round there. Anyway, let's put that back in server storage. Close that so that it commits, and we'll click play. Map is not a valid member of workspace. Aha. Okay, so it should be. Oh, what's happening? Did I accidentally? I've got a bunch of windows opening up now. I must have accidentally, look. Here we go. Turn of windows. Must have started up a virtual server by mistake. It's kind of a pain how easy it is to do that. Yeah. Close all these. We want to change the workspace.level3. Okay. Now let's try it. It was a bad idea in my view to make all of these the same color. Play, run, test server. They should be different to visually distinguish them a little bit more. Oh. I guess I could have got around doing this, but I'll play through this part for the testing. It's not exactly efficient, but it's kind of fun. Gotta have some high stakes gaming. There we go. Okay, so at least that's fixed that one error that we had. Replay, and it's fired off restart. And let's look. It seems to have, it has reset everything. So the only problem is it's just not loading our character. I think that's the only issue. So if we were to reset, would we respawn? Maybe. Let's try just calling player load character. Player restart game, player load. Let's try that. And player dot is character auto loading enabled. Was it on starter player? Yeah, this is all being loaded. Didn't there used to be more properties of player, or is that just when you run the game? Or have they removed stuff? Yeah, character auto loads is enabled. Here we go again. Take that, evil Colin. Oops. Whoopsie doopsie. I was blinded by my desire to kill Colin, but I had a skill issue. There we go. So calling player.load character, that seems to have fixed it perfectly. That's good. And the points resetting as well. Shall we just check the points reset? Well, another thing I've noticed, I think your icons for the mystery box are the wrong way round. Because earlier when I was playing it, the one that had the speed icon seemed to give me really good jump power. Oh. Okay, I think that's enough testing. But we've solved that with player.load character. We'll just get rid of the thing that said level 3. Set it back to level 1 for him. So now that should work. Oh, it's not a member of, what's it called then? Map.level1. Oh, .map. Oh, that's why it's that way around. Okay. So it was right. It just looked weird to me. So it is level1.map.level1 spawn. Let's see. Is that right? There we go. Okay, super. Fantastic. So there we go. We have solved Suprams Gaming's issue. There we go. Let's see if there's any other issues for us to solve. I have a feeling there might be one or two. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to help everyone on this stream. So if you do want priority, send a super chat and I'll get right on you. Otherwise, I'm just going to be going through these posts if and when I can. You can see I've already got a few pings piling up here. Okay. Print does not work. Well, that one's been solved. It's got to be in server script service, not server storage. And also he's not using the right quotation marks. He's using special quotation marks rather than just the double quotes. There is a slight difference. I know they look really similar, but they are different. We're gonna go ahead and mark this as solved. Okay, tower defense game help. How would I make it so, like, when you beat the event, it gives you a tower that is not in the shop and can only be obtained by winning the event and getting a badge? Ah, okay. So what you would need to do is you'd need to add it their data store value. So I'll go and open up my tower defense game. How about that? Give you an example. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. So, right, I'm only in the shop server here. So we've got this data for all our players. They've got stars, selected towers, and owned towers. And obviously, when I interact with the shop, it shows me. Does the shop show everything? I can't actually remember how I set it up. Shop server. How did we do this? We showed. Let's interact. Where's the. Let's go to the local script for the shop. Shop GUI. Shop client. Update items. Right, so we set up the shop, toggle it, update the items, and then we get their data. And then, oh, thank you very much for the tip, decent carp. Your tutorials really helped me, thank you. Also, will you ever try and do an anime fighters game tutorial? Just asking. Lamau! I don't think I'll do anime. I disavow anime. Maybe some kind of fighting game though. That could be fun. Right. Let's look at this. What's happening here? Trying to read through my old code to remember how it works. So towers. Where is towers got from? Towers is replicated storage. Towers. Tower shop. Aha, so if we didn't want something to be displayed in the store, what I would do is I'd add an additional value here. Say something like on sale. And then I'd set this to true or false. And I'd have one of these for each of them. And then you can create, say, another item. You call like the secret anime fighter. Okay, and this you'd have on sale as false, right? And it wouldn't need to have a price. And then you can have this in your module script, but it wouldn't appear in the shop. And then you could go ahead and award it to it if they have the badge. So you could check if they had the badge, say when they loaded into the game or something, or whenever you award it. And then it would just be a case of adding it into their own towers. Like on this line here, when they buy it, you would just add it in. You would add in the secret anime fighter. I really can't type. There we go. Something like that. Hopefully that sort of answers the question. Assuming he's even watching this video anyway. He might not even be watching me, but there we go. We've answered it in theory. Okay, let's come out of here. Discard all the changes. And we'll go back to the Discord. And we'll mark this as solve. I just talked about an explanation on the live stream. Hope you saw it and found it helpful. Okay, let's make this solved. Oh, there we go. And what's this? Oh, the guy was helping earlier. Did he get anywhere with this? We could join him on Team Crate. We could try doing that again. What's your Roblox username? Is it this? Let's see if it's that. Looks like it is. He's online. So we will, what's this guy talking about? The verif thing? What verif? Oh, you mean the bot changes people's nicknames? Yeah, it should do, but then people can change it. I don't think they can at the first rank anyway. Gnome, what's your name? Well, my name should be easy. Gnome code. Right, so add me to a team create of the game and I'll check it out. Okay, so we'll keep that one on the burner and then we'll go over here. What's happening here? Door 77, monster doesn't spawn. So this seems like it's a very similar issue. Alright, well, it's exactly the same issue, really. Let's just check. Are there any errors? What are the... We've got 9 new posts appearing. Oh, this is going to be a real issue to keep track of all of these, isn't it? Oh, no. What have I let myself in for? So I've added him. Ambush. Well, let's see if he's added me. If he's added me to the game yet. Has he? Oh, he has. That's good. Okay. So one thing at a time before we get too distracted. We'll go and look. Oscar's World asks, "Hey Namecode, could you make a FNAF tutorial series? That would be fun. Maybe. Maybe. I've been making a kind of FNAF type thing, which you might have seen if you saw any of my Twitch streams a couple of months back. But that was a bit different because it was sort of multiplayer. I think there's that game at the moment that's really popular called Forgotten Memories, which the aesthetics of it looks amazing. But I think personally, from a gameplay perspective, it's a bit weak, if I'm being honest. You know, FNAF doesn't lend itself to multiplayer that well unless you're going to do something smart, right? You need to change it up a little bit. And making everything free roam, for me, it didn't seem to work that well. But I know a lot of people like it. It certainly the developers that put a lot of work into it. The graphics are certainly an achievement. Right, but let's have a look at what's going on here. So, what is all this? What is all this? Let's just click play. Well, I can see errors appearing. So straight away we've got something going wrong here. Well, you're not even connecting anything. You need to connect the function. You can't connect nothing. I'm not sure whether this is something you're still working on here. And also, you've used a different name here. Trick and trick. You've got to use the same name. Make that track. And then you want to connect, I'm assuming, the load anims function. So I'll fix that one for you. But it looks like this is the lobby area. So presumably there's another... Oh, I see him spamming in the chat. Yeah, it's the lobby. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and find the... is it asset manager? Places... game. Here we go. Oh, now this is going to mess up my nice stream setup because it's a different window. Ugh, inconvenience. There we go. Okay, so we'll hit play and just do an initial playthrough. And again, there's a ton of errors. So, right, I'm not even going to continue playing because we've got way too many errors in the output. That is not a good sign. What is going on here? Okay, so first of all, there's something in the open door script. Light is not a valid member of model. So where is this? That's inside here. Why has he got a variable for light when he hasn't got a light part? What is he trying to do here? I'm not really sure. He's referring to door.light. Door being this model. That seems a bit confused. So I will remove this for now. And I'll just comment these lines out. I'm not sure what he was trying to do. And then the next thing is over... What? This is just an empty script. This isn't good. I don't know if... This is very confusing. Doesn't seem to quite be following my tutorial. He's got some very random scripts. I'm not sure if he's added these or if they've come from free models or what, but we'll clear these up and delete all of these. So we'll delete these nonsense scripts. What's this one? Enable rush. Again, he's got something called modules. You can see that's underlined, so that's we know is the issue. There's nothing called modules. You type modules, but you haven't defined anything. I assume you're trying to access this. Oh, he's just deleted it as I was looking at it. Okay, so he's changing stuff as I'm looking at it. But let's click play again. See what's okay. There's still a bunch of errors. Before we've even properly loaded in. So exit is not a valid member of rooms.end. Aha. So what you would probably want to do in this generate function, if you're going to have an exit room, you'd need to then check if new room find first child exit, then and only then try and change its transparency. And is the door door.new, that might be being added in at that exit part if he's not careful, but we'll change that. There's a bunch of sounds. Can we grant the permission? Will it let us do that? No, I don't have permission to do that. I never like it when you've got tons of errors in the output like that. It all gets a bit distracting. And we haven't even got to the actual issue he was complaining about yet. Okay. Alright, yeah. As suspected. there's an issue with his store script. So if we go to room, and we probably only want to do any of this. Right, copy, take all of that and put it in this, so we check if it's got an exit first, and only then will we add in the door. Now let's try again. Okay. Oh, we still got a ton of errors flying in. Right, we're not getting very far, are we? So we've got settings is not a valid member of replicated storage, and that's coming from a flashlight script. Flashlight. Line 8. Replicated storage.settings. Well, does it exist? No, it doesn't. What is he trying to do here? Is he actually using it? He is. This all seems a bit confused. I'm just going to disable this for now. We're going to move the flashlight into server storage just to get rid of that for now. Next thing, battery. Where is the battery? Is that part of the flashlight? Oh, it is. Okay, so that should get rid of that. And then we've got a rush activator. Rush activator 2. He's expecting a part called that in workspace. But I don't think there is any part called... Well, there's a part down here. And he's trying to wait for a very specific amount of time. 6.555999999. I'm not sure why he wants to wait for that long. Rush activator. What he should probably do is he should move that into here, and then let's see what the rush module actually gives you, because then we can probably destroy it. Is the rush module the actual, is it an object oriented thing, or does it give us the part? Let's have a look. So replicated storage. Oh, but it's not even there. There isn't anything called rush module in replicated storage. Oh, so in that case, we'll just disable this script. This random things folder. If you've got the random testing things, you don't really want them in the main game. I would say you could probably benefit from cleaning up the workspace a little bit, because I'm having to do a lot of scrolling to find things. You know, even if I've minimized some of these, still got a lot of stuff in the workspace. It's best to keep things in folders where you can. But that should clean up a lot of these things now. And maybe we'll be able to test a little bit easier. Nope, we've still got issues here. Coming from a local script. Oh, what? That's a bit odd. Why would you have it flash like that? Visible off, on, off. Green GUI. Oh, well, it's not visible. It would be... He would want to set the frame. It would be script.parent.frame.visible. But it's not... but it's already visible by off by default. So there's not really any point in this first line. So we can delete that entirely. Wait 2 seconds. Script.parent.frame. Okay, that should fix that. And then the flashlight. Why am I still getting issues about the flashlight? I thought I'd got rid of that. Oh, thank you very much, Jedi. How do you spawn tools in different rooms in Teddy? Well, I have actually got Teddy all open sourced, so you can go in and look at the actual code for it. But I'll show you after we've had a look at this, if you like. Nope, I'm still getting things about flashlights. Where's this coming from? Oh, there's a flashlight GUI. Let's get rid of that. Flashlight, we'll chuck that into server storage for now, just to get it out of here. It's a bit confusing. There's two different folders, one called room and one called rooms plural. Not quite sure what he's up to there. Oh, they're gone. They're gone. Okay, so this GUI should clone eventually. I don't know what's with why we don't have animation. It's a bit strange. But at least we haven't got any errors now, so that's good. We'll head into the map. Oh, this is pretty cool. Oh, there is there's a jump animation, but no walking animation. We'll do it in first person. We look for this key. There it is. Oh. Yeah, it's strange how the hands are all stuck. Oh, whoa. What just happened there? Oh, we deleted the workspace. That's what happened. So that's good. That's working then, isn't it? As we expect, right? If you got to that point in the video the other day where I removed the entirety of workspace on number equals 3. So obviously you don't actually want to destroy everything in the workspace. You want to spawn in the shadow, don't you? So you'll want to say, oh, it looks like he's inside of it, so I can't make any changes. But I think we've got him back to probably where he wants to be now. So we'll leave him for now. He's up with the video now, I think. So we'll close this one. And what did we say we were going to talk about? We were going to talk about Teddy, weren't we? Right, let's have a look at Teddy then. If you guys have suggestions, feel free to just leave them in the chat, and hopefully I'll see them. What's up, gamer lad? What's up? Right, so Teddy. What's the best way for me to do this? I have got a file, which might be easier to do than actually going into Teddy itself. Have we got a Teddy test file? Where is it? I've got too many bits of random Teddy testing stuff. Let's see. Bear with me. I know I've got a file here somewhere. I've got hundreds of Roblox files. They're semi-organized, but not that well organized. I think it might be this one. Aha, okay. There's a bunch of random stuff here. But how it works in Teddy is I have a folder called item spawn and a folder called item. So you see here we've got one key and a bunch of darts. And then I have to spawn them around the map. Now the important thing is with generating random keys is you don't want them to be 100% random. Because if it was 100% random, then you see this white block here. Well, you could generate the white key inside of the white room. And obviously that's not what you want. So you've got to do quite a bit of planning to figure out which are going to be the possible combinations. This is why the maps do take quite a bit of work to do, even after you have done the building, then plotting out exactly where all the keys are going to go. Because it's not just white locks inside of a white room, it's also, let's say you have this one. Let's say this had a red lock just for imagination purposes, right? Let's say this had a red lock. Inside of here, let's say there's another key. And if in order to get to this, let's say you ended up generating a white key inside of here, and you generated a red key inside of here. Well, great. Now you can't get it in either room because they're both locked off. So what I do is I have a series of folders. I have 0 level spawns, 1 level spawns, and then 2, 3, and 4 in the actual Teddy game, but there's just 0 and 1 here. And so what this means, a level 0 item spawn, they're just freely available in the map. You can access these anywhere, right? You don't have to access any locked keys. A level 1 spawn, that means you've got to open at least 1 door in order to get to it. So in this case, I've got this, I was obviously testing out the penguin thing here. And then you could have a level 2 and a level 3, which would mean you'd have to open 3 doors to get to it. So it allows you to keep it slightly organized in terms of sort of places limits on just how random it can be. So you're never going to lock any off. But once you've got these all organized, your spawns, you then do the same for the keys. So I've got a level 0 folder and level 1 folder. And then I could go to my item generation. And where do we go? Okay, so what we do is we go to the item spawns folder, which matches the same name as the parent of this. So this dart is inside a 0, so we know that we have to go to item spawn 0. And then what we do then is we take a random part out of this, so it could be any of these. So that's what the random is doing here, right? We're getting a random spawn, and then we're setting it to that C frame, and then I actually destroy the spawn. I completely destroy it so that the next item can't choose that spawn either. That's how it works in Teddy. Hopefully my explanation helped. But like I said, Teddy is open source, so you can jump in and have a play about with it for yourself. And oh gosh, I've just jumped back into Discord, and I've got quite a few pings, it's fair to say. I think GamerLad was going to ping me about something, but I'm not sure where. I would expect he would ping me in the garden or dev general, but if he's pinged me inside here, I'm probably not going to find it. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's have a look at some of these anyway. Camera system extremely buggy. Is this something that he's written? Well, with these kind of things, you've got to provide a bit more information. If you want to be a programmer, you've got to have a little bit of problem-solving mentality, right? So you've got to think, well, what actually is the issue? just saying it's buggy is quite a vague thing to say, right? So what exactly is the problem? So it skips a bunch of points. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm thinking presumably there's no errors. But if not, make sure you've got your output open. Make sure you check. Are there errors? Are there any warnings? But I'm not really sure. Camera system, points. You know, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I would need to see some code there to know. Some code would definitely help. There's a Linus Torvalds. Is that his name? Linus Torvalds quote. The creator of Linux. Show me the damn code. Shut up and show me the code. That's what I say here. Something happening with Minecraft, apparently, Gamer Lad. Well, I don't think I'll be able to help with that one. I'm not a Minecrafter. Is it you wanting to ping or something? Is that what it is? I mean, if you post in Minecraft info, I'll do the ping for you. Or do you want a ping right now? Right now, okay. You will get a magic pin. Minecraft. So if you don't know, people watching a stream, we have got a little Minecraft server at the moment. Gamerlad and Vigo are working on it, and they've got this crazy thing in the game at the moment. So if you want to join that and take part in it, you can join our Discord and check out the Minecraft info channel. Tell you everything you need to know to get set up. And we've got a little ping role. Go to welcome rules. You can add in that little role, so you get these pings when I add them like this. Ooh, I see Connor just said in the chat, does this helpline work for HTML? Sure, I'll help you with HTML. If you're in the Discord, that's the best place, because anything in the YouTube chat gets buried pretty fast. Okay, let's read this one. I need help with cutscenes. I want to make first-person cutscenes. I haven't played that game, but when I touch a toggle animation part, then... Okay. When I touch the part, then the screen glitches / bugs. Again, it's a bit vague. Are you talking about an actual error? Let's ask him. About an actual error, or it's just not doing what you want. What's going on here? Camera system, right? You sent us some code. Gosh, that's very small. The picture. That's the problem with pictures. I'm gonna open it up in the browser so I can read it a little bit better, but even then, still pretty small. So he's spawning in a new function, and then he's got a while loop, and then he's looping through all the points. So right off the bat, the first thing I'm thinking is, if you're looping through points and then it's in a while loop, as soon as you get to the end point, you're going to immediately jerk back to the start again. There's not going to be any transition back to the start. So if it's the first point, he sets the C frame to it. Yeah. And then else, so if it's any other point, he gets the, well, we don't know what object is, but he gets the attribute of it, checks its speed, and then he's going to set up a tween. Oh, and he immediately plays it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of people creating the tween and playing it all on one line because you can't even, a lot of the time you don't realize it's playing. But okay, so he's playing a tween. And so another thought I'm thinking right now is he's got a lot of these task.waits, presumably to wait until the tween finishes. But I would recommend creating a variable for your tween, saying tween equals tween service.create blah 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 blah, and then you can say tween : play, and then on the next line you can say tween.completed wait, so it actually yields until that tween has finished. But let's go back to the Discord, see if we can figure out what's actually going on here. Why isn't my why is Discord giving up on me? Why have you forsaken me? Oh, there we go. Yes, if he sends a video, we could see what was wrong. That would definitely help a lot. Chess game tutorial. Gosh. I wonder. Did anyone see that video recently? There's a guy on YouTube that his main thing is learning things, and he did a video about you know Magnus Carlsen, the chess champion. There was this controversy over this chess player who he was the world's best chess player, but he lost. He had a surprise loss in a tournament, and he then sort of, without actually saying it, made the accusation that the other guy had cheated. And there's this idea that he was using a vibrating device to help figure out what moves to play. It's quite an interesting video. Who is it by? Is he called Mike Boyd? I think that's his name. Mike Boyd, I think, is his name. Makes a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, the point being, he made this little robot that plays chess, which I thought was cool. And he connected it to these algorithms. It's not something I know anything about. They're called like stockfish and something hash. But I wonder, presumably there's be a way to plug that into Roblox. I wonder if you'd have to recode it yourself, or maybe there's some kind of API you could make use of. And everyone's spamming the suggestions chat, aren't they? Let's open up Garden. If you want to type messages, you can go to the Garden. I actually like to read the suggestions. Otherwise, I'm going to go back and delete a bunch of these. Let's see. Purge 10. Oh, I deleted the chess suggestion. Oops. Well, I spawned that you on stream anyway. How could I make a event tower? Badge awarded. I think I answered this question earlier on the stream when I talked through how you could set up a tower and give it to someone. But I mean, I think a lot of people may be just confused about awarding badges. But of course, people forget there is the Roblox wiki. So if you go to this page right here, we've got badge service, we've got a bunch of code samples explaining how it works. Award badge. There's your code sample. So that's the first thing you need to do to award a badge. And then it's just a case of combining that with your tower shop. Oh, we've got the typo there. Award badge, there we go. What else is happening in the server? Custom proximity prompts. Again, there's a dev hub tutorial on that. Let's see if I can find it for you. A lot of these questions, you could find the information out yourself. Proximity prompt. We'll see what the tutorial page says. We probably don't want this though. We probably want the actual API page, don't we? Yeah, let's go to the API. Here we go. Generating a custom proximity prompt. So there's this enormous code sample here. Look at it all. Humongous. And this is the entirety of the code that's used to make a proximity prompt. So if you take this code and change little bits of it, you can change the style of the proximity prompt. So here we go. When set to custom, no default UI will be provided, and the provided UI can be swapped out for a custom UI. So it tells you all how to do it on the proximity prompt page. We'll send him a link to this. But as always, people, search engines are your friend. Dual lane map in the tower defense game. It depends how you want that to work. So in my very simple tower defense, let's just open up like the first episode or something where we initially had them moving down the path. Right, so on this pretty simple path, he just moves down it, and we just have one set of waypoints. So probably what you would want to do is have 2 waypoints folders, right? If you want to have a different path, you'd have a second path, and then you need a second set of waypoints. So you'd have to copy the waypoints folder over and start positioning them as you wanted. And then inside of your mob script, you would have to decide which path you wanted them to spawn in at and navigate down. Now, as for how that's going to work, that would depend on the setup of your game, really. Whether you want it to be random, or say you want like the zombies to spawn on the west side of the town and then robots to spawn in at the east, or you know, that'd kind of be up for you. But you could just do a simple like random thing where you'd say, you know, let's say we have local random equals random.new, and then you could say local n equals random, next integer 1 2. If n equals 1, then waypoints 1, else waypoints 2. Obviously, this is just pseudocode. It's not actually doing anything here, but that hopefully kind of explains what I mean. Okay, let's jump out of this. We have been streaming a fair while now, so if you do really want help, send a super chat and I'll get straight on you. But otherwise, we will just have a quick browse through a few more of these help posts. Table removing multiple objects in table. Okay, some Candy Kid. I require some help with tables. The screenshot you are seeing is a function in a module script about a round system. On a rare occasion, when a player dies, it removes all players from the in-game table. Okay, let's have a look then. Oh, I've just realized I haven't got the correct window open. There we go. You can now see it on stream. So, round.start. Right, so he's looping through the player's table. So I'm not sure what's contained in players, whether that is literally the player's objects, or if it's some of the table that he's created, which is quite possible. So then he's firing off some events. He's inserting. Hang on, let me open this up in a browser window so it'll look a little bit better on stream. There we go. You guys can probably read it a bit better now. Connection equals nil. So whenever the humanoid dies, we go to the in-game table and we remove the player from it. Okay. And sometimes it's removing everyone. It can be tricky just to instantly spot these kind of things. Normally, with something like this, you need to do a little bit of debugging. So I would be throwing in some prints to try and figure out what the state of the table is at different points in time. If you haven't seen my video on troubleshooting, I'd recommend seeing that. You definitely need to, with something like this, definitely throw in some prints, find out what the code is doing at different points in time, and I think that will really help you to narrow down what exactly the issue is there. So I can't see anything, well, at least not immediately by glancing at this. Okay, let's go back to the Discord then. What else have we got? Strange circle problem. He sent us a video. What's the issue? That looks fine. Oh, it's rotating. Oh, I see. Ah, because when the root part is rotating up to look at the towers, it's rotating. I see what's going on. Hey, Mr. Griffo, thanks for coming along. Let me open up my version of the game. I always find that is helpful when people are debugging something that I've made myself, just to sort of re-familiarize myself with what I actually made. I find it's a good start. So let's hop back into Studio. We've got this is from episode 15. I just chose a random file. So the thing with my towers is they're the same height as the mobs. So he doesn't actually have to like rotate upwards to get them. But I think if I made him smaller, where do I put my towers? Here we go. If I was to make him smaller like that, is that gonna work? Let's see, is his hit point changed? Let's just set this down to 0.5 or something. Move him back. See if this works. We'll place him down there on the floor. No, he's not. He's rotating a little bit. Is it rotating this? Oh, it is. Yeah, it is rotating it. So probably if we don't want him to rotate, how could we fix that? Well, if we go into our tower module and let's have a look. So on the body gyro, if we set this to 0 for the Y axis, that might solve the issue. Let's add him in again. Is it still rotating upwards? I don't think it is. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, it maybe is a little bit. Oh, but actually it's not going to be the y-axis, is it? Because it's a cylinder. So it's going to be a... which way do cylinders work again? Let me check. So if it's this way up... that is the X. So let's try setting the X to 0 instead. Math.huge on the Y, 0 on the X. Let's see what this does. We've made him slightly in the ground. We put the wrong hip height, but that's fine. And look, I think it's moving. It's not moving now, is it? Is that rotating? That looks flat to me. I mean, he's moving backwards, but that's just the animation. Look, that's nice and flat. So there you go. That's your solution. We'll tell him in the Discord. Change your body gyro so it doesn't move on the x-axis, like so. And then we'll paste that line in. Oh, hello Lycosaura. I see it's good of you to join us. A fellow gnome and friend of the channel. What other issues have we got of people? Oh gosh, we've got a lot of pings here from Dr. 12, lol. Need help to make a mission. I want a script that you need to go touch with a limited time and take and talk. Well, we're more doing scripting help rather than scripting requests. So with anything like this, you really need to break it down into the individual things you want to achieve, rather than thinking of it all as one massive thing you want to do all at once. So a script that you go and touch something and then you talk to them. So how can you detect when the player enters a certain area? Well, one simple way would be to use a touched event, for example. I'm just going to go into Studio again. And we'll open that up. So obviously a touched event, I'm sure everyone knows that one, right? The old classics are the best. You can add in a script and then you just say script.parent.touched, connect it to a function and you get the part that hit. And then you can check if it's a player, local players equals game, get service, players. And then you check if player, get player from character, if the hit.parent, if that is a player, then print player touched. Right, and if we had that, and you jumped onto it, you're going to get player touched, right? That's really easy. But obviously we're going to fire that loads of times, which might not be what you want. So another way of doing this is using a module script, which is pretty handy. It's called Zone Plus. I think I've got it in my toolbox if I can find it. If you search for Zone, is it going to come up? No, that's the problem. The toolbox doesn't always work when you search for things, I always find. It's a bit unreliable. Oh, there we go, Zone Plus. So if I add in this module script, you should be able to find this. If you do a quick web search, Roblox Zone Plus module, I'm sure it will come up. So if we then use this module, and I can't quite remember how it works, but I think we'll require it. Local zone equals require workspace dot zone. And then I think it allows us to say zone dot new or something. Let's see. Zone dot new, and we give it a container. So let's move the script out into the workspace, and let's say we have a funny shaped area. We can make it a bit more fun. Something like this. Maybe it's like a building and this is the floor plan or something. So we have an area like this and we group it together. We'll call this floor, anchor it. And now in our script, we can say local floor equals workspace dot floor and local floor zone equals zone dot, is it capital N or lowercase n? Zone dot new floor. And so then I think you can say floor zone dot player entered, maybe. What are the events? Part entered. There is another. Yeah, we don't item entered. Is it player entered? I think it's player entered. Why can't I find it in that script though? It should. Is it here? It's probably in one of the. There's too many extra modules. But we'll try player entered. Dot player entered. Connect that to a function. I think it should give us the player. Print entered player. And then we can delete this simple touched. Now let's try this. And nothing. Okay, I don't think we got it quite right. Let me bring up the documentation. Roblox Zone Plus. There's a good page on it. We just need to get at the dev form, get the example. That's what we need. And here it is. No, there it isn't. There it is. Zone Plus. So here it is. It's made by this guy called Ben. And it's pretty handy. Right. Zone. Oh, yeah, we should have done that, haven't we? Haven't we done that? That should be the same as what we have. Where have I messed up here then? Zone.new container. Yeah, we've done that. Zone.player entered. Or zone.player entered. That's the same. Oh, I think it's to do with the height of this. I reckon if we made this tall, there's different ways, there's different settings, I'm pretty sure I remember, of detecting when they're in the zone or not. Let's make it like this instead. Turn off collisions. I bet this one will work for us. There we go. Entered name code. So it only fires the one time rather than having a bunch of spams. And there's also a player exited as well that you can use. So I'll just copy that from the documentation. We could have floor zone.player exited, which helps us to know exactly when they come in and when I leave. So this is a pretty handy way of doing things. There are other ways, like I say, of detection. I don't think you have to be relying on the humanoid root part. Let's have another look at the docs. I'm sure there's some different settings you can enable. Have a look. Let's just go to the API. Is it this accuracy enum? Or detection enum? Ah, here we go. This is what we're looking for. So zone set detection. Let's try that. And then we want the whole body, I suppose. Was the function, is it? Is it a function like this? Set detection. And then 1. Is that right? Let's see if that works. We probably still need these to be... Oh, did I turn that on by mistake? Oops, don't want that silly breakpoint. Okay, set detection, that's not right. Oh, he uses lowercase s's, that's what it is. There we go. So you don't need the humanoid root part anymore if you have the lowercase. I think you always need to have it so some of your part is actually intersecting. I don't know if it works on the surface. Let's set the collisions back on. Does it work on the surface? Yes, it does work. Oh, but it's a bit fluky, like it thinks I exited. Yeah, so you should have this with collisions off, and then you can be within the area. Obviously, you could make this an invisible area if you wanted. But what we're talking about is enabling a GUI. So if we wanted a GUI to be enabled, let's say we go and create a quick GUI, right? We have some screen GUI, a frame or something. I would never create GUIs like this, by the way, but I'm just doing it just for today. Special, folks, just for today only. And then we'll just put, hello, fellow gnomes. And we'll dump that text in there. We'll make it look half interesting. And then we'll do some crazy color, like bright red. Whoa. Graphic design is my passion. Okay, so we have this GUI, and we'll name this message GUI. And then we could set this to be the frame or something. You can set it to enable be false. And then we could react to it when they enter that zone. So how about we have a remote event? Because that's the best way to communicate between the server and the client. So we'll add in a remote event, and we'll just call this toggle GUI. And then if I go into my, let's play a script and start a player script, local script. We'll need a variable for the replicated storage equals game get service replicated storage. So then we can access that toggle GUI. Local toggle GUI equals replicated storage wait for child toggle GUI, and we're going to want the player as well. So let's get that. I've started getting really particular about trying to put my services variables in alphabetical order recently. That's just some inner autism coming out. I didn't used to do this, but I just started doing it recently. It's got to be in alphabetical order. That'll make the code run faster. Pro tip. Okay, so we've got the players, and then we can get the local player from players.localPlayer, and then we can get their player GUI from local player dot player GUI. Wait for child. What did we call it? Message GUI. Let's call this message GUI. So when that remote event, when we toggle it, we'll say on client event, connect it to a function, and we'll say message GUI dot enabled equals the opposite of whatever it currently is. So not. So we're going to flip its visibility. And then we just need to toggle this from inside of our server script. So let's copy the replicator storage, pop that in there, and the one for the event. We'll pop that in there as well. And so now, whenever they enter or exit, we can toggle that function, fire client, and we'll send it to the player that the module gives us. Let's keep the prints, actually. I just removed that by mistake. Player.name, enter zone. Okay, so let's see if that works. We go into the zone, and there we go. We go, hello, fellow gnomes. We've got the beautiful graphic, and we come out again, and it disappears. So this would be your starting block if you wanted to create some sort of, maybe this could be a dialogue area, right? You had an NPC, and when you're within range, you want the dialogue to be visible, and when you leave that area, you want it to disappear again. Or it could be maybe a menu for some kind of starting game. It could be anything, but hopefully that sort of answers that question of how you could go about building something like this. It's fun making little demos. Don't actually have to put the effort into doing the hard stuff of making it look good. Just the basic outlay. Okay, what else is happening back on the Discord? Oh, God. Every time I look at the Discord, there's like another 10,000 messages. Look at all these pings. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, we're not going to be getting through all of these. Let's just kind of read through, see what people are mainly struggling with. If there's a lot of questions that repeat, it might be worth doing some kind of frequently asked questions video, perhaps. I think the thing that most people struggle with for the doors is just the building part. You've got to have the orientation of your entrance and exit parts lined up, because that's what it's relying on to position them all together, to chain them along. So if you have one rotated, then the chain's going to suddenly go off the opposite way. But that's not this guy's issue. I'm just rambling. There's max 10 rooms when there should be 50. I'm assuming he's got an error, right? But he hasn't typed anything. So you need to check the output for sure there. This guy is saying, trying to make a door with tween service. Let's have a look at this video he sent. Cool door. Nice. So that works. But the door itself doesn't. Oh, the door works. What does he want it to do? Okay, he's opening the door again. What's happening this time? It's opening again. And the door. Oh, that isn't moving with it. Is he sure he hasn't anchored it? I mean, that's my initial thought. If it's welded, is he sure it's not? Yeah, look, it's anchored. You don't want that to be anchored if you want it to move. What's going on here? How do you make mode selection? Fire damage, Jeep tower, and hidden mob scripts and that type of stuff. So a mode selection. Well, I showed you how to make a map voting system in that my tower defense video series. So if you're watching that series, you can pretty much just take the mode voting, the map voting, and just apply it to mode voting. As for actually how to make the modes, well, that depends what modes you want to make. Are you thinking like different difficulties? Well, there's many ways of doing difficulties. You could have your enemies have a higher hit points. You could have just more enemies. You could give the player less money to buy things with. Right? That's all up to you and how you want to set it up. Fire damage. For that, you'd probably want to use a function.spawn, start a new thread, and then just make damage inside of a loop. Let's see if we can make something like that inside Studio right now, actually. Let's do that. So let's create a part that's on fire. And we'll add in, we'll just use the default. I know we can get fancy particle effects, but we'll just use the default fire. And how about when we touch this part, we want to be on fire ourselves, something like that. Or we could combine it even. We could combine it with this area. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's say, let's generate a bunch of flames inside of this area. Flame area. We're gonna rejig the script. So it's not the floor zone, it's the flame zone now. And let's generate. Oh no, my browser isn't. I'm glad someone told me. Oh no, we had the wrong window open. Okay, well, back inside Studio. There we go. We've got a flame, and we're gonna dot them around this area. So, how many lots of fire do we want? I think we want 20 different flames. And for I equals 1, 20. Let's then position a random part onto this area. So we've got 3 different parts, haven't we? So we're going to have to loop through all of the parts first of all. So for I part in ipairs, floor, get children, do, and then we want to choose a random part. Okay, so we don't want to loop through them. We want to choose a random part, don't we? So let's get a random. We'll create a random object. Local random equals random.new. And then we can say local n equals random next integer between 1 and the total amount of parts in it. Obviously, it's only 3. We could just type 3, but maybe we want to make this bigger later on. Maybe we'd come along and duplicate it or something, right? Add an extra area. So now we've got more areas, more parts. We've got 4 parts now to this. So we've got a random number. Then we would say, let's take a variable for all of the floor. Local floor parts equals this. And then our part will equal floor parts random number n. Okay, so now we've got our part. We want to find a random position on it. So local minimum position would equal the part dot position, and then we'll need to take away, because the position is the central part, right, where this is. We want to take away its size. So we would say minus vector3.new and the part.size.x 0 and part.size.z. So that'll be the minimum position it can be at, and then a maximum position. That will look like the same, but we're going to add on the size instead of minusing it. And actually, we don't want the whole size. We want it divided by 2. We only want half the size. So divide all these by 2. So now we have a minimum and maximum position. We want to generate another random. So local x will equal random next number between min position dot x and max position dot x, and then we'll do one for the z as well. And then let's see if we can create a new part in that place. So local p equals instance dot new part. We'll make this size to be 1.1.1, and we'll give it a color of just black. And then finally its position we will set to vector3.new. The x is the x. The y is going to be the same as the original part. So part dot position dot y, and then the z. Actually, I might raise it up a bit. Let's add on one stud to it. P dot parent equals workspace. So that should generate 10 random dots. Is that going to work? Let's see. There we go. Oh, we want to anchor them as well. P dot anchored equals true. There we go. So we generated 10 random black dots around the area. That's pretty cool. So now let's add some flames onto them. Local fire equals instance.new fire. Fire dot. What are the properties of fire? We probably want them to be. We've got heat. We could bump up the heat to 20. We could bump up the size as well. What's the maximum size? Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we'll have 20 and 20. And timescale. Oh, that's just how slow it burns. Huh. Fire that doesn't move. That's weird, isn't it? Okay, so we will set our fire dot heat equal to 20 and our fire dot size equal to 20, and then we'll parent the fire to that P, that part we just created. So now if we run, we should have a bunch of flames. Whoa! Okay, so we've now got our flame zone, right? Fire everywhere on the floor, sort of randomly generated though. So it could work quite well if you were going to do some sort of maybe this could work for like a fireman game. That could be pretty fun. So now we've got all these flames. Let's generate more flame. We could have some random. We could have some maybe random size of the flame. Could be a bit more fun. Let's do that. Let's generate a number between, say, 5 and 20. And then we'll do 40 instead. Okay, so now we've got lots of different size flames. That looks a bit cool, doesn't it? I like that. And now we want to see when you enter, there's a chance of burning. Are we going to use... Let's make these transparent as well. They're kind of annoying me being all black, actually. Transparency equals 1. And then when you enter the area, let's do a random chance of you setting on fire. So if random next number 1, 2 equals 1, so 50% chance of catching on fire, then let's create a function for this. Function player function set player on fire. And we would obviously have a character, and then we would get the player dot character. And let's have another function for create fire and the thing that you want to parent it to. And then we can call this function inside of our loop where we set everything up. Create fire, parent it to P. And we'll do that there. And then we can also call this function when we are here. We can create fire and parent it to the character, for example. I notice my sound has just stopped, my fine royalty-free sound. Should we get some new tunes? What about this? There we go. We've got some tunes back. All is well. So how about we choose a bunch of random parts to set on fire? Oh, that's a good question. Hawaii Storm asks, what's the difference between next number and math.random? So math.random is kind of the old way of doing it. That's been around a lot longer. And it does what it says it does. It gives you a random number between 1 and some other number. Now, the random.new is kind of a new object we've got recently. And by using next number, it sort of it bases everything on the same seed. So math.random was less random, essentially. But I am not some mathematics PhD holder. I can't explain to you how it all works behind the scenes, but my understanding of it is that you have a higher chance of generating random because it's trying to avoid numbers that it's generated previously. So I always use the random object now and say next number. So it's like, based on the numbers we had previously, now generate the next number. Whereas math.random had a pretty good chance of just giving you the same number if it was using the seed again. Okay, so we're going to create... Let's choose a random part within the character. So we'll do the same thing as we did here, basically. But instead of floor parts, it's going to be limbs. And then we'll say, we'll generate a random number. Right, we'll copy all this over. Limbs and part. Let's see, if limbs n, if that is a base part, it's possible we could get a hat or something. We want a base part. Then we will set it on fire. limbs n. And maybe we could do this a few times actually. For I equals 1, 3, do. Sure, let's do that. So here we are, we got our fire inferno if we wander into it. Am I on fire? I don't appear to be on fire. Why aren't I on fire? Huh. Okay. Oh, because we gave it 50% chance, didn't we? We don't want a 50% chance. We always want to set on fire. When would you ever not want to be on fire, guys? Okay. Wander into the area. And there we go. We're all on fire now. Oh dear. Doesn't look very good for us. So now we'd want to have some sort of effect where we take damage while we're on fire. So how about we add in, once we've done this, we're going to say task.spawn function. So it's on a new thread, so it doesn't yield this. And we're also going to set an attribute. Character set attribute on fire, and we'll set this to true. And we're going to check if they're actually already on fire. So if character get attribute on fire, if that's true, then return end. We don't want to set them on fire again. And if they're on fire, yep, cool. And then we'll do a while loop. So we'll say while they're on fire, do, and we could have some sort of waiting loop, task.wait1, and then we'll need to take away from their health. So character.humanoid.health, take damage 5. And I suppose we should say if character.humanoid.health is greater than 0, then take damage. Otherwise, else we can just leave this loop, can't we? Okay, now let's see how we're doing. Into the area. Oh no, one fire. And oh no, we've got an error. Number it and instance. Oh, humanoid.health. We missed out the .health. Hello, Rolucky. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, so we're on fire now, and index number with take damage. Oh, there we go. We got it the wrong way around. Yeah, Mr. Lucid, this has turned into a bit of a tutorial, hasn't it? I'm just kind of having fun making things. Okay, so now we're on fire, and we're starting to take damage. You can see my health is going down very slowly. It's quite gradual taking this damage. I should probably make it a bit more rapid. But now we're on fire, and it's not going too well for us. Ah! Help! Help! I'm burning! I'm burning! I don't really want to be on fire. No! Help! Help! Oh. Okay, so how about we make some water as we go in? Let's duplicate this area. And we're going to make this a water area. And we could make this blue. And actually, let's not do that. Let's make a... Well, I guess we will. We'll make a cylinder or something. And this can be... What would be a good water material? What's a good water material? Sand? Does sand look like water? Yeah, kind of. Okay, so we use sand. And then we're going to duplicate this. Make it bigger. And this one is going to be brick. We're kind of making some sort of swimming pool or something. That's what I'm going for, if you were confused. And then we'll duplicate. And then we'll bring this one up slightly. And this one will be negated. And then what material shall we use for this? Like brick or something? Brick will work. And then we'll create the union. There we go. So now we've got some sort of pond area. And when we jump in here, we want the fire to disappear. Group that together. Have we made this? Make sure we've anchored all this as well. There we go. So this is the swimming pool. And so now in our script, we can create another zone. So how about we duplicate this. And we can say water zone, zone.new workspace dot swimming pool, and we'll set the detection as before. And then we'll have a player entered event. Player entered. And we don't need to toggle any of this, but we'll check if they have the attribute we set. Do you remember the attribute? So if character has the on fire attribute, if that equals true, then we're going to set it to false. It's going to be player.character. Then we're going to set it to false. So we're going to copy this again, copy this, take this, and set that to false right there. Oh, I want it to be the water zone. Okay, let's see if this works. So I can enter this zone, but obviously I'm not on fire currently. Let's go and set ourselves on fire. Ah, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Quick, quick. And okay, now I'm not on fire, but I've still got the effect. We need to get rid of the fire effect. So we're going to need to loop that for object in ipairs player dot character get descendants do, and we'll see if the object is a fire, then object destroy. Okay, here we go. Let's go and set myself on fire. Oh no, I'm burning, I'm burning. Into the water. Ah, there we go. So here is a completely useless functionality, but there we go. We've got a setting ourselves on fire simulator game. It's going to be the next big hit, I'm sure. There we go. This is fun. I'm just going to keep setting myself on fire now. What else is there to do? Hello there, Sully. How do you call a remote event in a server script? Well, I'm actually doing that here. So you see I have a remote event inside replicated storage called toggle GUI. Well, I've just accessed it. So toggle GUI equals replicated storage wait for toggle GUI. And then down here, I get that variable and I simply say fire client, and as it happens here, I have the player object from this event. Otherwise, you would need to choose a player object in order to send it to. Somebody asked about ipairs. That's a good question. Let me get rid of these prints for a second. We might as well just open up a new script. We'll open up a script. And so if we have local things equals, and we have a table, John, Ringo, Paul, I don't know, just random whatever, right? We just got a table with random things in. We're gonna have a Mercedes. We're gonna have an orange, right? We've got a bunch of numbers. 1, 200, 750.9. That's number one, right? We've got a random table, and then if we were to print out things, we'll see that we can see this table of things, and this is the order of it. So John is at the 1 index, Mercedes at the 2 index, orange at the 3 index, and confusingly the number 1 is at the 4th index. So this is the order of the items in the table that we can see in the output, right? That is how they are listed. And so if I say for object for index value in pairs things do, and I print out the index and the value, what I will then get is I'll get John, Mercedes, oranges, right? But I'm printing them out one by one by one. Now the difference between pairs and ipairs is that pairs, let's say we change this, right? So after Mercedes, I decide to have a nil value, like so. So the third value is nil, and then so on. And if I run this again, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna ignore the third one, right? So we get 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whereas if I went for ipairs, and we run now, we'll get 1, 2. It hits the nil element and it just stops. So if you're doing anything with tables where there's a chance that you're going to be randomly removing an element, then you've got to be careful of using ipairs. Now, why wouldn't you just want to use pairs all of the time? Well, ipairs is guaranteed to do things in order. Now, obviously here at the moment, we can see that they're in order anyway using pairs. That's because it's a pretty short table. This only really comes into effect if you've got a really big table. Another thing is pairs is really more for using with dictionaries. So a dictionary is when you've got a table containing a bunch of data. So let's say you had some kind of game here where you had like an inventory, and you made this equal to another table. And in your inventory, you had a shield, you had a cabbage, and you had some cheese, and then you had some potions or something, and then you had another table, flame, and the wart potion. Everyone needs a wart potion. And then you had your gold, say gold, and that was equal to 200, right? So you got a big table full of stuff. So now if we try to cycle through things with ipairs and we run that, we're not actually going to get anything at all. That's because ipairs can't go through dictionaries. So you have to use pairs in order to get it. So we change it to pairs, we run again, and now we've got everything. We've got inventory, potions, gold, and so and so. Thank you very much for the tip there, Spike-chan. Is that yen? 160 yen. Very cool, thank you. Right, I think I've answered your questions. This stream has been longer than I was anticipating. So thank you very much for tuning in and coming along, everyone. I think we'll leave things there, but before we do, shall we have one more setting myself on fire? That's what we need. Every stream need a good bit of setting ourselves on fire to liven the mood. So here we go. On fire. And phew, into the water. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in some new videos coming out soon. Goodbye.